Welcome into the Packers Report, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Joey Petersen. In today's show, we're going to talk about some much-needed injury news that we got from Tuesday morning on Jordan Love. The QB1, the star of this show. I'm going to give you the full rundown on what we know now heading into 2025. But before we talk about any of that, make sure you guys hit that sub button because, of course, we wrapped up our March sub battle. We're starting a new sub battle with our Bears Now channel for the month of April. And I promise you guys, it's going to be a heavyweight fight to prove that we're the best NFC North team, that we're way better than the Chicago Bears are. Do me one big favor, hit that sub button. Let's take down the biggest rival we've got right here at Chat Sports. So Matt LaFleur spoke to the media on Tuesday morning, just a day removed from Brian Gutekunst speaking to the media on Monday morning, that was. I'll give you a little bit of the highlights, and then the last little highlight, that's what we'll talk about today. So he started off by saying that Green Bay plans to use Nate Hobbs and his versatility. Right? He mentioned a lot how he could be a guy used from the slot to the inside. He also mentioned that Green Bay did a deep dive on wide receiver drops over the offseason and says he doesn't think it's an issue of skill, which I guess is that's a good news, but it's like if it's not an issue of skill, then what was it? I don't know. He didn't really talk much about it. He also talked about Luke Getsy bringing new ideas to the offense. Excited to see those little wrinkles. And then the great news that we're talking about today is that he does not expect lingering injury issues with Jordan Love. He went on to actually say that Jordan Love didn't even need a knee procedure after the season. He didn't say how much the knee affected the injury of Love last season, but he admired how the quarterback gutted through it. So I think this is great news in two parts, right? The initial thing we talked about was there are not, at least he thinks, going to be any lingering issues. And the second part is that he didn't need any off-season surgery for that MCL sprain that he suffered in week 1. Let's hear more about what Matt LaFleur had to say. He said it's the NFL, and guys are going to have to deal with nicks and things of that nature and make the best of that throughout the course of the season. He's just got to try to gut through it, and I do admire his toughness. I think he showed that, being able to just battle through and be available for the most part and for most of the games for his team. Let's give you a little bit of a rundown on the injury plague season that he had in 2024. So it was the week 1 game against the Philadelphia Eagles. It was in Brazil, and that's where he suffered the injured knee. He missed 2 games, weeks 2, weeks 3, and then was back in week 4 against the Minnesota Vikings. And then in week 8, he suffered a groin injury against Jacksonville. That was in late October. However, that did not affect any of the games for the rest of the season. Didn't miss a single other one. How are you feeling? Let me know in the comment section down below. What's your confidence level in Jordan Love? Scale up for me 1 to 100. 100, you think he's going to be the guy. He's going to get back on the horse, and things are going to be great in 2025. Give me a 1 if you're not feeling too great. Let me know in the comment section. So Jordan Love talked about his MCL injury when he was on with Kay Adams, and he said, I was battling, missed 2 games with it, came back early, and was fighting through that. It was a tough injury, one that limits you, talking about his MCL. A little bit what you can do mobility-wise. A couple weeks after that, ended up straining my groin because of the knee. That whole thing just put a damper on things. So he pretty much admits right there to Kay Adams that, you know what, a lot of that groin injury that I suffered in late October was because of the knee injury, right? When you're injured in one place, you don't necessarily run the way you're supposed to, and that could lead to further injuries, which we saw. And it's no secret at all that Jordan Love was banged up for the entirety of 2024. Now, that's nothing new. That's nothing you didn't know. That's nothing I didn't know. And that's nothing that's different from the game of football. But I will say, it is a little surprising that it happened in week 1, and yet still he was able to put together a pretty solid season. 63% completion percentage, that wasn't too great, but everything else, yards, 3,300, almost 3,400. 25 touchdown passes. Needs to limit the interceptions a little bit. He had 11, but if you look a little bit deeper into the more nitty-gritty, nerdy stats, as I like to call them, his expected points added through the entirety of the season was plus 32. That was 13th best among quarterbacks in the National Football League. His expected points added per drop back was plus .07. Again, 13th best in the entire National Football League. And that's a quarterback who doesn't have the best wide receiver room, who was dealing with an MCL issue from week 1, was dealing with a groin issue from week 8, and he still battled back and was able to put together a season that was really good statistically. And I talked a little bit about it. I want to dive a little bit deeper into the problem in the wide receiver room. It's already going to be hard for a team to excel if the quarterback's going through injuries, but especially when he also has to deal with a wide receiver room that has the drops, plain and simple. Because he had a 7.1% drop rate, which was 3 points higher, 2.4% higher than league average, 5% higher than Jared Goff, and 4.3% higher than Jalen Hurts, okay? So he really wasn't helped a ton in 2024. And that's kind of why I think people are a little bit too hard on him. I think that expectations were set at an unrealistic level. Twofold, for 2 reasons. Number one, he had a phenomenal year in 2023 and ended it even better in the playoffs with the dismantling of the Dallas Cowboys. And then also, I think people have gotten a little bit spoiled around here with the fact that you rolled from Brett Favre into Aaron Rodgers into Jordan Love. And I think that put a little bit of an unfair expectation on Jordan Love. So you're too hard on him. We're too hard on him in that sense. But also the fact that, guys, he had an MCL strain in week 1, a groin strain in week 8. And it's like we're judging him on every single thing. He also has a wide receiver room that was not that fantastic. It's like, I think we need to pump the brakes a little bit. I get it. There's things he can improve on. I think 2025 is going to be a big year on seeing if he improved on those things. But man, I think we just need to give the guy a little bit of slack. Okay, so coming up, I got some more updates from Matt LaFleur that I want to talk about, go over, break down right here on the Packers Report. But before that, do not jinx it, okay? I can tend to be a superstitious guy. Do you want Jordan Love to stay healthy in 2025? If you do, simple yes or no question. If that answer is yes, which it should be, go ahead, do me one big favor, hit that thumbs up button and like today's video. So I mentioned it off the top. LaFleur sees Hobbs as a very versatile piece for this Green Bay team, this defense, and this secondary. Here's more on what the head coach had to say. I know that a lot of people just view him as a nickel. Well, we think he can play on the outside, play on the perimeter. I just love the guy's mentality. I love how he plays the game. He plays it the right way. He's tough, he's competitive, and he brings an edge. So let's talk a little bit about why I'm excited for Nate Hobbs. We've talked about this before, but I really just want to kind of go back over these things. He's tough as nails, and that's been the whole shtick with Jair Alexander. Not only has he gotten injured, not only has he been injury prone, but people in the building believe that he could play through those injuries if he really wanted to. Well, Nate Hobbs broke his hand, or it was his wrist, I don't know. He broke something in the middle of the game against Kansas City. He went back out there and played the rest of the game. Also, he's really excited to be there. Okay, he's really excited to be there. Josina Anderson tweeted out a quote from him right from the get-go, and he just talked about how blessed he was for the opportunity, how excited he is to play for Jeff Hafley and play for this Green Bay Packers team. And also, number 3, he's a Swiss Army knife, like LaFleur was talking about, right? He can be used in so many different ways. On the inside, in the slot, right? In the box, on the outside. Here's his snap alignments from this past season. He was aligned at the defensive line when the ball was snapped 28 times, in the box 116 times, in the slot 304 times, and out the outside corner 104 times. And I get it. I know he's versatile, and I think he'll be used in the outside corner a ton. I don't think he's the answer at outside corner. I'd be happy to see him at that role. I think they should use him at outside corner. But that doesn't mean that he's this team's answer to the possible missing piece that is Jair Alexander. So I've got some guys that I think could be answers that are upcoming in the 2025 NFL Draft. Jahdae Barron, I think that he should be, if he's there at number 23, this team's first-round selection. Cornerback out of Texas, he's long, he's fast, he's quick, he has great ball skills. I really, really love that selection, the possibility of it. And then 3 guys I think that are more second-round options. Benjamin Morrison out of Notre Dame, Siobhan Revel Jr. out of East Carolina, and Maxwell Hairston out of the University of Kentucky. All three of those guys, I could see a world where they step into this organization. Really, they step into any organization that kind of has a toss-up in that cornerback one spot, and they fight for it, and they win that job. I think all four of those guys would serve you really well in your secondary room, and if all four of those guys are available between the first round with Jahdae Barron and the second round with the bottom three, I'm running to the draft board. I'm turning their names in an instant. So be goody for me. Let me know, what round should Green Bay draft a cornerback? Do you think it should be the first? Do you think it should be the second, third, fourth? You let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button before you get on out of here. Do not click out of this video before you join us because we're trying to take down the Bears channel, and we need you to do so. See you next time.